You ever wonder what it would be like if you had to start over with your fragrance collection? Or maybe you find yourself in a place where you want to start off, maybe with 2 or 3 fragrances or something like that. Or maybe, you just had to leave it all behind and you had to just go and now you're starting over. Well, I questioned myself with that recently. So in this video, I'll have a few fragrances that I would repurchase immediately if I only had $250 available, and these are the ones I would pick. Stay tuned to find out which ones they are. One thing is for sure, if I were to buy or start over my collection, I would immediately start buying from reputable online sellers, because there often you can get a 95% full bottle or a tester for a really good price, and that will yield you significant savings. Of course, you can go to Douglas, you can go to Sephora, you can go to Nordstrom's, you can go to Saks Fifth Avenue. Places like that will leave you with an empty pocket in a hurry. But just plan ahead so the wait for the fragrance when you buy it online isn't too terrible. Most online sellers will get it to you within a week, or most likely like 3 to 4 days depending on how you're located, which isn't a bad deal. But if you absolutely can't wait and you need to go and get a fragrance right now, often you can find something at like TK Maxx, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Burlington and places like that, especially in the United States. And often they will have something there that is pretty good. Now, don't be too excited, because it is often hit or miss. And unfortunately for me, it feels like it's mostly a miss. But you can always try and save yourself some money that way. Now, I've kept it pretty simple for you. I've only got 3 categories. Okay, I'm going to have work and play, sort of an all-around fragrance that you can always wear and be happy with. And then, of course, I have one that you would wear in the evenings, so the second category, for the evenings and going out, something a little bit more in the evenings for play. And then I have one for the hot days, because where I live, it gets really super hot and you need a fragrance that you can wear when it's super hot outside. And those are the only 3 categories that I'm going to do for $250. Pretty much covers what I would need if I were to start over. But I'm pretty sure that you have some categories that you have yourself. If you have some categories, leave them in the comments for me. I'd love to hear about it. Maybe we'll make an expanded video of more categories for some really good fragrances. I'd love to hear it. Leave it in the comments. Awesome. So here's what I would do if I had to go out and I only had $250 and start my new fragrance collection. The first fragrance I would buy is a 2006 fragrance, and it is L'Homme from Yves Saint Laurent. This is a fragrance right here. It's absolutely freaking gorgeous. And you can wear this one all the time, just about anywhere, and feel great. You could wear this one to work. You could wear this one in the evenings. You could wear this one all year long. It smells absolutely fabulous. Of course, it's a 2006 fragrance. You could go with La Nuit de l'Homme, but this one is a little bit more for like a date or something like that. So I wouldn't go out and buy this one immediately. This one is along the same line, but it's more versatile than La Nuit de l'Homme. Or you could go with Blue Electric, which is a newer one. But like, once again, this is a little bit more something for the evening. It's not quite as versatile as I think the original L'Homme from YSL is. 2006, it's a sort of a citrus opening with some beautiful soft spices. I would go out and get this one immediately, because you can wear it at any point, anytime, would be my choice number 1. And it comes in right at $78 for online sellers, which is a really good price, and that's for a 100 milliliter bottle. $78, and that's my choice number 1 if I had to start it over. Now, of course, with this one being $78, it might not be your number 1 choice. So I'm gonna give you one that's just a little bit better. That's also a very good sort of entry-level fragrance that smells really good. You can wear anytime, anywhere. And it's a bit of a controversial one, because it does smell a little bit more like a niche fragrance out there. Very similar, even though it has a little bit of a different dry down, but also quite nice. And that for me would be Mont Blanc Explorer. It's controversial. People didn't like it at first, but once people got it, they actually really enjoyed this fragrance. It's a great buy from Mont Blanc. This one comes in right at $53 for 100 milliliter. You can't go wrong. 5-6 sprays of this one, you'll be good to go all day long. And it has that little pineapple bergamot opening and an ambroxan dry down. Really beautiful fragrance for $53. Wear it anytime, anywhere. But if you're like, you know what? Lots of people are wearing that one. I want something that's a little bit more unique. There's one that's under the radar. It's a little bit older, but I always get compliments on it. And that's my choice number 3 if you had to start over with your primary fragrance. And guess what? It's also Mont Blanc. It's a 2001 fragrance, flies completely under the radar. Only some people have it. And it comes in at a better price than the Mont Blanc. And it is Mont Blanc Presence. This one is along the line of the YSL for a much better price. It's sort of in the same vein. Does it smell identical? No, it doesn't, but it's in the same vein. This one is a little bit more of the shaving foam line. But does this one smell absolutely wonderful? It does. And coming in at $27 for 100 milliliter, you can't go wrong with a starting one. And this one, when I wear it, I always get compliments. Probably get more compliments than the other two with this one. Unbelievable. For $27, Mont Blanc Presence from 2001. Great one to start off with. So I would pick one of these 3. For me, it would be YSL. I would get this one as a start off if I had to start over with $250. This would be a wonderful time for you to leave a like if you're getting anything out of this at all. Maybe even subscribe for more fragrance content. I would love to have you with us. Thank you. Another way for you to save money nowadays would be to buy a clone or a replica of something. They seem to be everywhere nowadays. Now, I'm not really a big fan of this trend. However, it is a way to save money. To be 100% transparent, I do have some of them, and I feel that when I wear a clone or a replica of a niche fragrance, let's say, I usually am a little bit underwhelmed and I feel a little bit fake when I wear those. So for me personally, what I do or what I would do is I would buy a fragrance that's maybe a few years older, not so old where it's expensive again, but a little bit older, a few years older, so you can save money there. I would rather wear an older classic than I would like to wear, a clone of something. But that's just my personal opinion. Like I said, I'm often underwhelmed and the dry downs are usually not as good as the originals. I'm not going to judge you. You do you. Just make sure that when you buy a clone of something, make sure that you compare the per milliliter price. Often they will sell it in a 50 milliliter bottle for a pretty good price because it smells really close to the original. And then if you actually do the milliliter price, they're not that far off. Maybe a couple of cents or 5 cents per milliliter or, maybe. So at that point, I think it's worth it to just go ahead and buy the original. But hey, let me know what you think about the whole clone phenomenon in the world right now. Let me hear what you think in the comments. Love to hear from you. Next, I would buy a fragrance that I can wear in the evenings for going out to play. Now, if I had unlimited money, or not unlimited money, but if I didn't have only $250, for me, that fragrance would be the new Sauvage Elixir. Absolutely love that one. But coming in at $150 for a 75 milliliter, if we were to go out and buy that one, we would be well on our way to blow our budget. So that's not the one I would pick for $250. The one I would pick would be Spice Bomb, and it's the Spice Bomb Extreme by Victor and Rolf. At $75 for 75 milliliter, this is a really great deal on online sellers. And I actually really love the way this one smells. Now you can also go with the original Spice Bomb, but for me, I like the Spice Bomb Extreme just a little bit better. Now, another competitor that you can also kind of, go out and get that smells really good for the evenings when you go out would be, of course, Jean Paul Gaultier. For me, it would be the Le Parfum, coming in at about $71 or something like that for a 75 milliliter. And of course, you could always go with the Versace Eros. This one still sells incredibly well. It's a great party fragrance, lasts all evening. Still, people buy it like it's hotcakes. Also around $71 for, I think this is for 100 milliliters. So it's a little bit better, better priced than the Jean Paul Gaultier Le Mel Le Parfum. But for me personally, like I said, I would go with the Spice Bomb Extreme. That would be my choice for the evening, or my second choice if I had to start off with $250. Spice Bomb Extreme by Victor and Rolf. So far, we've spent the $78, or I've spent, I should say, the $78 for the YSL Lum. Absolutely love that one. Such a good scent. And of course, I would go with the Spice Bomb for the playtimes in the evenings. Spice Bomb Extreme for another, what is that, $75 for Spice Bomb. Now, at this point, having those two, we're already at $153. That leaves us with $97 to get to our 250 mark. And for me, at this point with those two, or any variation of that, I would only need one more fragrance to go, and that's for when it's really hot outside. Because I don't know if you've ever had that. You wore a fragrance, it's super hot outside, and it's not really made for the heat. I mean, it can be really, really super annoying, and your evening or your day could be ruined. What I would do when it's bloody hot outside, there's 3 fragrances that came to my mind immediately. The first one that I thought of was an Ise Miyake, and it is Ise Miyake L'Odyssée Pour Homme. This is a 1994 fragrance, and it has a main note of yuzu, which is sort of a pungent citron note. Absolutely wonderful in the high heat. And this one comes in for 125 milliliter, I think this is. Comes in right at $45. Superb buy. It's a little bit older, but still a fabulous scent for the high heat. Another one that came right to mind was a Jimmy Choo fragrance, and I absolutely love this one. This one would actually be my pick for the hot weather. It's a little bit more on the elegant side. And it is Jimmy Choo Man Eyes. You can get this one for around $37 for 100 milliliter. And you can often find this one, like I said, at the TJ Maxx and all those things. You just got to keep your eyes peeled for it. Or online, they always have it. Jimmy Choo Man Eyes. Here you have a little bit of a soft bergamot kind of at the top, and as that dries down, it has a beautiful ambroxan dry down. For me, this would be my choice. So we have the YSL, the Spice Bomb, and the Jimmy Choo. I would start off with those 3 if I had 250 to spare. But there's one more fragrance. Now, unfortunately, it's a little bit harder to find, but I would get that one if I saw it out there, because I did wear it one time in the high heat, and I absolutely loved the way the fragrance performed. And that would be Artisan Pure from John Varvatos. It's a really awesome fragrance. It's along the lines of the 4711s of the world. You can actually get 4711. It's a great one if you want to save some money. You just got to reapply it since it's just a cologne. But this 4711 smells a lot like a more expensive fragrance from Tom Ford. But this one you just got to keep splashing on. You can go crazy with it. I think a big liter bottle, the one that, what's his name? Jeremy Fragrance always sports that big liter bottle. You can buy that one for like $35 if you want. So 4711 is a lot like Artisan Pure from John Varvatos. It's a little bit different, but along the same line. There's also a very amazing fragrance for the high heat, and that would be my choice number 3 for a fragrance when it's hot outside. So adding the Jimmy Choo to my lineup brings us to a grand total of about $190 or somewhere around there out of the $250, which still leaves $60. Now you said, hey man, we're gonna spend $250. What would you do? I mean, why are you stopping at $190? Well, here's what I would do. I would save the next $60 because I would put that towards a fragrance that I want in the future. I would put that towards, add to it, and maybe get myself something that I really, really want that smells amazing and maybe just a little bit more. And don't forget, having cash on hand is also a position in the finance world. Also, it is a position in the fragrance world. Have you ever been at a point where you want a new fragrance and you don't have the cash to buy it? Let me tell you, it sucks just as bad as not being able to buy a stock if you want it. So that's how I would spend $250 if I had to start over from a new. Let me know what your starter kit is. Which 3 fragrances or 5 fragrances would you buy if you had to start over? I mean, what do you think of my choices? Let me know in the comments. Maybe send me a picture of the 3 that you would get if you had to. Post it downstairs or put it in, send it to me in an email or something like that. That would be really fun, I think. Send me a picture. I hope you enjoyed this sort of quick, how would I spend $250 if I had to start over? I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, maybe even subscribe for more content. We'd love to have you on board. I want to thank you in advance. Until next time, I want you to take good care of yourself, always smell nice, and I will talk to you soon.